The Jets don't need Darron Lee, but they have plenty of other needs scattered across the roster. So why not try to turn Lee into a draft pick that can help solidify another position? Trading the former first-round pick is certainly an option. But if general manager Mike Maccagnan starts exploring a trade, which teams could be potential partners? Here are 7 teams who could be buyers for Lee, given their need at inside linebacker. NFL free agents 2019. How much salary cap space do Jets have after signing Le'Veon Bell, C.J. Mosley? Others? Analyzing Jets' 2019 cap situation. New York Jets general manager Mike Maccagnan signed running back Le'Veon Bell and linebacker C.J. Mosley. Bengals. Yes, the Bengals recently resigned Preston Brown, but is that really enough to solidify them at linebacker? Maybe it is, and maybe some of the team's glaring issues on defense will be resolved if Brown is able to stay healthy this year. But the Bengals are also stocked up with heavy, power linebackers. They could probably use a little more speed and coverage ability to complement what doesn't look like a particularly strong group. Lee would provide that. Broncos. The Broncos are letting Brandon Marshall walk, which opens up a spot at ILB. And they are certainly looking to add speed at that position to help new head coach Vic Fangio improve the defense. It's a spot they could target in the draft, but they also have the option to fill it beforehand by targeting Lee. Eagles. The Eagles lost Jordan Hicks this offseason, making inside linebacker a position of need. Signing L.J. Ford, who has never been a full-time starter, probably doesn't cover that hole. The challenge here would be Lee transitioning to a 4-3 defense, but his speed and coverage ability could still make him a good fit in the middle of that defense. Lee vastly improved his coverage in 2018, ranking 3rd among starting linebackers according to ProFootballFocus.com's grades. Howie Roseman is certainly known to do some wheeling and dealing, too, so this move would make some sense. Jinsto. To see the Jets and Giants making a deal, sure. But that doesn't mean the trade couldn't make sense on paper. With Alec Ogletree and B.J. as the current projected starters, the Giants could almost certainly use help at inside linebacker. As we've already mentioned, Lee has really worked on his coverage ability, which is the Giants' main priority in upgrading that position right now. The biggest potential wrinkle is whether or not Dave Gettleman would be willing to cough up a draft pick when he's clearly going through a rebuild, regardless of what he says. Raiders. The Raiders are quite clearly exploring the linebacker market, hosting players like Aaron Lynch and Monty Te'o for visits. But if Mike Mayock and John Gruden aren't happy with what they find on the free agent market, perhaps they can be talked into a trade. The Raiders certainly have plenty of picks that they could use as part of an offer, even after dishing for wide receiver Antonio Brown. Rams. The Rams don't have many weaknesses, but inside linebacker sure isn't one of their strongest spots, especially now that Mark Barron has signed with the Steelers. Corey Littleton is penciled in as one of the starters, but the Rams seemed to have another spot up for grabs. With most of the top free agent options already off the board and the Rams short on cap space, OverTheCap.com projects they have $8.77 million remaining. Perhaps Lee's cheap $1.8 million salary could appeal to them. Ravens. Lee is expendable precisely because the Jets managed to lure C.J. Mosley away from the Ravens. That left a hole in the middle of Baltimore's defense that still hasn't been filled. Maybe Maccagnan can work some magic and leverage that need he created into a draft pick by dangling Lee as a potential replacement for the Ravens. That would be a masterstroke by Maccagnan, if he were able to pull it off. Matt Stypulkowski may be reached at mstypulkowski@advancedmedia.com. Follow him on Twitter at @m_Stypulkowski. Find NJ.com Jets on Facebook.